So during the toasts, my wife, she says she's been backing me while I figure things out. When it was my turn to say something, I played a voicemail she left me where she was basically making me pay for her new car, right there for everyone to hear. 2 minutes later, her parents were blowing up my phone. I'm just sitting here, replaying Saturday night over and over in my head. It's Monday evening now, and it all still feels so crazy. For some background, my wife Maya, she's 36, and we've been married for a decade. We have 2 kids, a 7-year-old girl and a 5-year-old boy. Things were generally okay, the usual ups and downs, like anyone. About a year and a half ago, I left a crazy, stressful corporate job to go to a tech startup. Less money at first, but with potential for equity and way better work-life balance. It was a risk we talked about and planned. Maya seemed on board, but lately there's been a lot of tension, mostly about money. Specifically, she really wanted a new car, not just any car, but a brand new, fully loaded Lexus NX 350h. We already have cars, and they're fine, paid off. But she needed this upgrade, apparently. I kept saying, Maya, not right now. The startup's cash flow was really tight. I figured we should just wait a year or until things got more stable. It felt like the responsible thing to do, right? Apparently not. The pressure was relentless. She kept making comments comparing us to our friends. Then there were these guilt-tripping voicemails while I was at work. I saved one from last week because it was just revealing. Anyway, fast forward to Saturday, which was our 10th anniversary party. We had a nice dinner at a private room in a local restaurant. It was something we'd saved up for specifically for the occasion. So there were like 40 people there, friends, family, a few people from work. Maya was totally in her zone, Everything seemed great until the speeches started. My best friend gave a nice one, my brother did too. Then Maya grabbed the mic. She began talking about our life together. But then she dropped this bomb, and I knew right then and there things hadn't been easy for us this past year. She said something about Leo, finding himself, with this really condescending little smile. She went on about how tough it's been, but how she'd been happily holding down the fort, taking care of everything financially, making sure the kids and I didn't have to worry while he was, figuring things out. Whoa, hold on a second, what the heck? The whole room went silent, super awkward. Everyone knows I work my butt off at this startup. Finding himself? It sounded like she was saying I was living off her, that she was totally supporting us. My salary's lower now, sure, but I still contribute a ton. We're not broke, we just aren't spending money on crazy stuff like a $60,000 SUV. The way she put it, though, sounded like I was unemployed and she was some kind of superhero paying all the bills. Total crap. My face burned. I saw my parents exchange a look. I even saw her parents, who are usually so sweet, look totally confused and worried. Maya, she was just beaming like she'd given some amazing speech or something. Then it was my turn. Forget my carefully planned toast. I just walked up, grabbed the mic, tried to stay calm, and looked straight at Maya. Wow, Maya, I said, keeping my voice even. Thanks for that perspective. It was true, things had been a bit of a shift since I started at the startup. And speaking of shifts and finances, I grabbed my phone, found her message, and hit play. I held the phone up to my ear. Maya's voice, all whiny but firm, filled the room. Leo, she said, I saw the perfect NX 350h today. Pearl white, we need this. I deserve something nice after, well, everything. You keep saying wait. But this waiting is getting ridiculous. Just figure out the money, Leo. Get the deposit sorted by Friday, okay? I'll make this difficult if you don't. Talk soon. Then nothing, dead air. You could have heard a mouse sneeze. The sheer entitlement, the pressure she put on me, the way she just brushed off my worries, it was suffocating. Maya's face went from this huge grin to nothing, totally drained. She looked like she was about to throw up. I put the phone down. Yeah, I mumbled into the mic, financial stuff is complicated. Happy anniversary, Maya, I added. 10 years. I dropped the mic and went back to my seat, couldn't look at anyone. The party, the whole mood just crashed. People started whispering, making excuses, and leaving. It was awful. Maya wouldn't even look at me. She was huddled with her friends, glaring daggers. The drive home was silent, completely silent. At least the kids were at my parents' for the night. Thank God. Maya locked herself in the guest room. Sunday morning, my phone rang. It was her dad, Richard. I knew it wouldn't be good. Leo, he said, his voice all heavy and worried. Richard, I said. Hi, son, he said. Carol and I heard some things about last night. We talked to a few people and briefly to Maya this morning. She's not making a whole lot of sense. So about those toasts? Someone brought up a voicemail. Turns out Maya's toast completely misrepresented our money situation. It made me look like I wasn't pulling my weight. So when it was my turn, I played a voicemail she'd left me last week, bugging me about getting that Lexus. She wanted long pause. I could practically hear him exhale. All right, that explains the defensive attitude from her. Leo, Carol and I are super worried about both of you, about what all this means. That toast made it sound like I was in the wrong. And then pressuring you about a car through a voicemail no less. It just doesn't seem right. We needed to get a better handle on things. But son, based on what we're figuring out, her behavior sounds really out of line. He said they wanted to chat with both of us. Possibly together, maybe separately. It wasn't the raging anger the title suggested, but it was clear they weren't thrilled with Maya's actions, based on what they'd heard. The anger, I figured, would come once they got the whole, unfiltered story. So yeah, that's where we're at. A super awkward party. My wife's in self-imposed exile in the guest room. Her parents are concerned and obviously siding with Maya. Seriously? Marriage in a crisis. Did I go too far playing that voicemail? Maybe. But her blatant lie in public just pushed me over the edge. I don't know what's going to happen next. Update 1 week later. Wow, okay. Thanks for all the comments and DMs. Mostly you guys were supportive. Some said I completely blew up the marriage. Others thought Maya got what she deserved. Maybe a couple of those. It's been a crazy week. The aftermath. Maya stayed in the guest room for 2 whole days. We barely talked. Then boom, she walks in and it's not sorry. Nope, she's furious. How could you, Leo? She practically snarled. We were in the kitchen. The kids were thankfully at school. She was so mad about me humiliating her in front of everyone. My parents haven't stopped grilling me. Humiliating me? I asked, totally confused. Maya, you got up and basically called me a kept man after I took a huge chance, a risk we both agreed on. She'd lied about supporting us all by herself. That was the humiliating part. I just embellished a little, I said. It was a toast, you know. You took it way too seriously. And the voicemail, was that embellishing too? She shot back. Telling me to make it happen for Alexis, a kid we don't need and agreed we couldn't afford right now? Her eyes practically blazed. You recorded me. That's illegal, isn't it? It's not a one-party consent state, I explained. You twisted what I said. I was just letting off steam. You sounded entitled, Maya, because you are acting entitled, I told her. Things went south fast. No screaming, just icy words. Seriously, she actually thinks I'm the bad guy for calling her out on her crap. Then her sister Chloe, she's 34, a real looker, called me Wednesday. Chloe's always been super loyal to Maya, maybe a little too loyal. She launched right in, no pleasantries. Leo, Maya's heartbroken, she said. She told me what you did, playing that private recording. That's low, even for you. Even for me, I asked. What's that supposed to mean, Chloe? It means you've been a real pain since this whole startup thing started, she said. Maya feels ignored. She feels like she deserves some nice things. You just completely shut her down. That toast might have been awkward, but she was trying to tell you how tough it's been for her, even if it was through lies. And that car isn't some nice thing, Chloe. It's a gas guzzler we can't afford right now. That voicemail wasn't just venting, it was a demand. She's your wife. You're supposed to take care of her. You embarrassed her in front of her family. Her parents actually apologized to me for how she acted, Chloe. They heard that voicemail too. They were livid with her afterward. Just listen to me for a second. Look, they're kind of old school. They don't get the stress Maya's dealing with. Okay, Chloe, I'm done arguing about this. Maya lied about our finances in public and has been putting way too much pressure on me in private. I reacted. That's it. You need to apologize to her. No, Chloe, I really don't. I hung up on them. My own parents are being supportive, but they're definitely worried. They said they love me, but they really hope we can work things out. They suggested counseling. Maya's parents, Richard and Carol, talked to us separately during the week. Richard called me after. Leo, he said, and he sounded really serious. We talked to Maya for a long time. She tried everything. Blamed you, blamed stress, said the toast was a joke, said the voicemail was taken the wrong way. We didn't believe her, not for a second. Carol is devastated. I'm furious with her. He went on about the disrespect, the financial strain she's putting on me, her sense of entitlement. He said it was unacceptable. They told her so too. They told her she owes me a huge apology and needs to fix things. Richard said, Leo, we're so sorry for how she's acted. This isn't how we raised her. So Maya's new approach. She's bouncing between giving me the cold shoulder and throwing out these sneaky little jabs. Little comments about cash, about my company. Yesterday, she left a Lexus brochure on my office desk at home. Seriously? No note or anything, just the brochure open to the page with the pearl white car, like she thinks she can still win me over. My take on all of this. Do I feel bad about how things played out in public? A little, yeah. It was rough, but honestly, I feel less guilty than I figured I would. Her acting entitled and the public lie felt like a major betrayal. I'm not gonna say sorry for how I reacted to all that. The car? Forget about it. We're just hanging in there for the kids right now, but it's super tense. We haven't talked about divorce, haven't talked about getting help, just stuck in this awful place. But that Lexus brochure, that tells me she hasn't learned a damn thing. Basically, my wife still thinks she's the one who got hurt. Her sister's on her side, of course. My folks are worried sick. Her parents actually talked to both of us. They're now pissed off at her after hearing her excuses. They apologized to me and told her to straighten up. She hasn't. The Lexus brochure was on my desk. Tension is super high a month later, so buckle up, everyone. Her entitlement. It didn't just get worse, it went off the charts. And yeah, I guess you could say I went for broke in response. Within the boundaries of the law, of course, I'm just a regular guy. Just remember the Cold War going on at home. Living together has been pure hell. Maya would swing between pretending everything was fine. She was being sickeningly upbeat, asking about my day, and then pulling these manipulative moves. The first one. The kids heard her telling our 7-year-old daughter, "Mommy really wants a new, safe car so we can go on fun trips, but Daddy says we can't get anything nice right now because of his job." I had to shut that down right away. I explained to my daughter, in a way she could understand, that our cars are safe and Daddy's job is working on something awesome for the future. I also told her sometimes families have to wait for big things. Maya, of course, denied ever saying it like that. Gaslighting 101. The second stunt involved money. She started acting weird about her own spending. She has a part-time job, the pay is okay, but the hours aren't consistent. I usually handled the bills, but suddenly she took care of them and wouldn't give me any details. Then I found out she'd paid our property taxes late, and we got a penalty because she spent her money on clothes and spa days. She said she didn't think the penalty would be much, and things were tight because of her spending. Yeah, right. Then came the social campaign. I heard from some friends that Maya and Chloe were telling everyone I was controlling, stingy with money, and emotionally unstable ever since the startup, painting me as the one who lost it at the party over a misunderstanding. Some of our friends believed it, others saw right through her. The breaking point? The final straw wasn't even the Lexus she was always leaving brochures around for. It was finding out she'd opened a new credit card just in her name. Okay, so here's what happened. She, kind of stretched the truth about how much money she could make on the credit card application. She put our actual income down, too, to get a crazy high credit limit. Not cool at all. And what she spent it all on. A solo getaway to, clear her head. Designer bags, fancy spa stuff. I stumbled upon the bill by accident, a bunch of new purchases. Time for a chat. I put the statement down real quiet on the table. "Maya," I said, "what's going on here?" She went white, then got all defensive. "It's my card, my money," she snapped. "You probably lied about how steady your income is just to get this limit. You spent 15 grand. We can barely make ends meet right now." This was after causing a tax problem and still pushing for a super fancy SUV. First, she tried to justify what she'd done. "I wouldn't be so stressed if you hadn't, attacked me at the party." That stupid toast meant nothing. When I didn't cave, she switched gears, tears in her eyes. "Well, you embarrassed me. You made me look bad." I was just upset. I deserved something nice. Then that Lexus would have made me feel better. But since you're not providing, that's that. The total lack of remorse, the constant focus on the car, the effort to hide the debt, and then using my reaction to justify her actions. I just lost it. I didn't raise my voice, but I was crystal clear. The whole revenge plan, the financial truth. I didn't play another voicemail. Okay, so this whole financial situation, it really forced me to sit down with her. I had to lay out all the numbers, bank accounts, the whole shebang. My startup salary, which was what I was actually making, not what I hoped to make. Her part-time gig income. The bills, the debts, including that brand new $15,000 credit card bill. Golly just laid it all out, plain as day. She showed her exactly why Alexis was out of the question and how this secret credit card debt was actively screwing up our financial plans. Like, college funds for the kids, retirement, all that stuff. There was no room for doubt anymore. It was all about debt and taking responsibility. I told her that 15 grand in credit card debt, that was hers to pay off, straight from her earnings. We'd figure out her share of the essential household bills based on what she actually earned and everything else. It went straight to that debt. No more fun money until it was gone. That was it. No exceptions. I stopped sending her the little bit of fun money I used to put into her account for, odds and ends. Right then and there, it stopped. Her income had to cover her own personal stuff and that debt, plain and simple. Total parental involvement, nuclear option. I had to call both sets of parents for a family meeting, just the four of them, her parents, me, and Maya. We laid it all out. The lies about toasts, the voicemails pressuring me, the manipulating of the kids, the late taxes, the secret credit card, the 15 grand debt, the constant obsession with Alexis. We showed them the credit card statements. It was the proof. Maya tried to interrupt, started crying, tried to justify it all. Her parents, especially her dad, Richard, looked like they were about to lose it. My parents, already not thrilled with her, looked totally crushed. Richard finally exploded. Maya, that's enough. We told you to straighten this mess out, but you lied through your teeth. You manipulated things, spent a fortune you didn't have, and you're blaming Leo for working hard and being responsible. This is unbelievable. Carol started crying, saying she barely recognized her own daughters. They said straight up they weren't paying off her credit cards. They totally agreed with my plan for Maya to handle it herself. They backed me all the way, making it clear that some serious boundaries needed to be set. Afterward, Maya just clammed up. She didn't say a word for a whole day. Chloe, her sister, called me again, saying, "You got Mom and Dad involved. You're trying to isolate her." She hung up on me after telling Chloe, "Maya made her bed, now she has to lie in it." The bottom line, Maya's facing the music, no more Lexus. She's stuck with a mountain of debt, 15 grand. She has to budget, live on her part-time job, and her parents are making sure she does. Her fun money, gone. She's got to contribute fairly to the household based on reality, not dreams. It's not about punishing her, it's about her dealing with the results of her spoiled behavior and not being responsible with money. Seeing her figure out that the free money from Leo and my parents is completely over. Yeah, that feels like justice. Is it satisfying? In a dark, twisted way, yeah, it is. That whole entitled attitude, it had to end. So is our marriage gonna make it? I still haven't got a clue, but things are different now. Her sense of entitlement, it hit a major roadblock, a huge one, built of spreadsheets and my parents' serious disappointment. Okay, Reddit, long time no see. 6 months have gone by since that family intervention. I figured I owed you guys an update, the final chapter, you could say. Life after the money meltdown. Things aren't perfect, not by a long shot, but they're totally different. Right after the meeting, it was brutal. Maya was grumpy, bitter, barely said a word. She hated the budget, hated having to watch every penny with her up and down income, and hated that her parents were calling weekly not to bail her out, but to grill her about her debt repayment plan. Chloe, my sister-in-law, basically iced me out. Whatever. Did Maya suddenly become this amazing person and apologize? Ha, no way. That kind of entitlement doesn't just disappear. There wasn't some big dramatic moment of realization. It was more like slowly chipping away at her fantasy world until it crashed into the hard truth of reality. The debt. She's paying it off, little by little. It's killing her. She picked up extra shifts when she could. She complained a ton at first, even suggesting I should pay half since we're married. Nope. Her secret debt, her problem, and her parents are backing her up on that. But the complaining died down once she saw that balance finally start to shrink. A harsh lesson learned, I guess. Actions have consequences. We haven't even mentioned that Lexus car since the family meeting. She's still driving her old clunker. I caught her browsing used Toyotas online the other day. A good sign, right? But that sense of entitlement, it still lingers. You see these little glimpses of resentment now and then. Thankfully, the blatant demands and manipulation stopped when I put my foot down. Her parents and mine backed me up completely, shutting that whole thing down. She knows she's got nobody in her corner anymore. That lie about the toast, it's done. She finally mumbled something resembling an apology during an early therapy session, saying she messed up the toast. It wasn't much, but at least she admitted it was a lie. That voicemail, though, she's still claiming it was stress. Tiny steps forward, I suppose. We're on the road to recovery, or at least I hope we are. The weeks after that blow-up were rough. Divorce felt like a real possibility. What saved us? Honestly, it was the kids. Both our parents, too. They really pushed us to get professional help before throwing in the towel. They saw the damage Maya was doing but wanted us to try and fix things if we could. We started couples therapy about 4 months back. It's brutal, and we haven't had any major breakthroughs yet, but at least it gives us a safe space to communicate. Our therapist is pretty sharp. She doesn't let Maya get away with her messed up ideas about money and status or with the financial secrets. And she doesn't let me off the hook for that voicemail stunt either. She understands why I did it, but she's helping me find better ways to deal with conflict, which is fair. Therapy is forcing Maya to face her skewed perspective on money and respect, and it's forcing me to look at how I avoid confrontation, saving voicemails instead of dealing with things directly. I should have addressed things sooner, maybe. Now I'm just left with this simmering anger. It's tough where we are right now. We're still together, still working through things in therapy. It's not some fairy tale ending, you know. It's super delicate, like walking on eggshells. The trust is completely shattered, maybe beyond repair. I'm on edge, always watching my back. I'm totally open about the money now, but there are definitely hard lines drawn. No more playing guessing games. Maya, she's quieter, less focused on putting on a show. Maybe she's finally getting it, the damage she caused. Or maybe she's just seeing that there are real consequences. It's hard to say. She's way better with the kids, actually interacting with them instead of just pretending. Her folks are cautiously hopeful, but they're keeping a tight rein on her spending. My parents, They're just relieved we're trying to fix things. Chloe still thinks I'm the worst, so I guess that's some kind of payback. Sort of. Maya faced the music, the car's gone, and she's got a mountain of debt and a whole lot of responsibility. It's not about getting even. It's about her spoiled attitude finally hitting a brick wall. Will we make it to 50 years? Who knows? But we're in therapy, and Alexis, she's completely out of the picture. That's the latest. Thanks for letting me vent, Reddit. It really helped, honestly. Time to sign off and deal with this crazy, complicated life.